This story is a couple weeks old now, and I'm late to the party in talking about it. And I went back and forth about whether I should even cover it or not, because it's one of those things where it's sort of like, is this really like worth? This is one of those. It's like a mosquito that keeps buzzing at your head. Do you want to keep swatting away at it, or do you want to just ignore it and I don't know, let it eventually dive into your ear and kill itself in your ear, and sort of fizzle out of its own accord. That's not the best metaphor, but there's well, let me just read some a bit of this article on the subject. This was written on November 11th. This is published in Newsweek magazine. In the wake of Tuesday's election results, some women frustrated by President-elect Donald Trump's return to the White House are using a centuries-old metaphor about women poisoning their husbands to channel their disappointment, causing a stir online. First of all, they're not using a metaphor. It's not a metaphor. That's the first error, but let's move on, and you'll see what I mean. The Make Aqua Tofana Great Again, or METGA movement, is a recent trend in which some women humorously advocate for reviving aqua tofana, a 17th century poison used by women to kill and escape their abusive husbands. Okay. So first, note the couple of words that in which the writer of this article attempts to shade things in a particular way, or cast things in a particular light. The writer says they're using a metaphor, and here they're humorously advocating. So first of all, it's not a metaphor. There's nothing metaphorical about this. They are actually saying we should poison men. Now here it's claimed to be humorous, that it's just a joke. They don't really mean to they're not really advocating for it. But, and maybe they aren't really advocating for it, but I don't see anything in the context of these posts that indicates that it's just a joke. So why do we just assume? Why does the writer just assume that it's humorous? Doesn't seem, even if it's not advocating anything for real, it doesn't seem humorous to me. Reading on. Aqua Tofana, named after its alleged creator, blah, 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 was a deadly undetectable poison used across Italy, gaining notoriety for its stealth and potency. The Matka trend has become synonymous with Tofana, seemingly emerging as a satirical expression. See? Humorous, metaphorical, satirical expression of frustration over certain political issues, mainly targeting Trump and men who support conservative policies that affect women. What in the world? Okay. So we're already basically told in these first few paragraphs, this is nothing really to get too worried about, and you shouldn't take this seriously, and you shouldn't actually see it as representing a threat to anyone's life. This is humorous. This is satirical. It's metaphorical. But says this writer. That's what this writer says, and it might be true. And I don't know. I haven't heard anything about any actual man being poisoned by his wife after this happened, but I don't know whether. I don't know whether that means that it's meant in jest or metaphor. It's definitely not metaphorical. I don't know whether it's just meant to be satirical or humorous. All right, I'm in a video posted, blah, blah, blah. Women embracing the trend appear with captions such as, "Sure, my body, your choice," before pouring unknown liquids into drinks. This is juxtaposed with medieval images of women pouring potions, while the captions tell the story of Tofana, who was responsible for the deaths of over 600 abusive husbands in 17th century Italy. One woman in the video leans toward the camera and whispers, "Aqua Tofana, am I right? Aqua Tofana. If you know, you know." That the end of it is blanked out, but I've seen that video. That's what she says. All right, so okay, there you go. If you know, you know. Well, but we're just supposed to assume that it's satirical and humorous, and that it's not meant as an actual threat. We're just what in the context of anything, anything that we've seen about this story should make us just assume that. Nothing. Some have framed the trend as a modern-day reminder of the long-standing fight for women's rights. Abortion as women's rights. Okay, that's just, again, seeding that whole idea that you have a right to take another life as long if it's in your womb. That's not at all self-evident. I would say it's the very opposite of being self-evident. Meanwhile, critics argue that referencing a deadly poison, even in jest, can send the wrong message. You think that's going on the internet and saying, "Let's poison a bunch of men, poison your husband for voting for Trump. Let's poison men who are responsible for Trump getting elected, even though the exit polls show that a majority of white women also voted for Trump, and that a large number of women also voted for Trump, regardless of race. But it's men's fault, quote unquote, that Trump got elected. So they should be therefore poisoned." One user on X shared the video. First, Karen's at TikTok kicked off the 4B movement, refusing to marry, have children, and date. Then they started, okay, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, then they talked about 4B movement, not, we're going to stay away from men. We're going to look as unattractive as possible. I'm shaving my head to make a statement here because I don't want, I'm going to refrain from having sex with men because I'm mad at men for being responsible for Trump getting elected. Whatever, that's fine. Do whatever you want to yourself. But now, so this soon evolved into the Matka movement. I don't know what word's supposed to be. The first video got 1.3 million likes. That's not harmless. Okay, a woman posts about murdering men with poison, and 1.3